Hi guys, and welcome to another one of my videos. So a miracle finally happened, and yesterday we finally got a firm release date for the upcoming Vampire The Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which is now set for the 21st of October of this year. So for those of you guys who may not have been following the tumultuous development that's been occurring over many years now, the game is now being developed by the Chinese Room, who are better known for their atmospheric exploration type games, one of which I played not too long ago, which was Dear Esther, and I put that gameplay online for those who are interested to see what the game was like. But they're not really known for their RPGs. As far as I know, they've never made an RPG, so this would be their first. Vampire Masquerade The Bloodlines 2 was originally developed by Heartsuit Labs under Paradox, with involvement by the original Bloodlines writer Brian Matsoda, who also was involved with some of the characters as well, personally voicing them and so on.
Name's Romero. I'm the caretaker here. Well, that is, I don't exactly keep people from getting in, although that is part of my job. No, you see, I'm here to make sure nothing gets out. This coast earlier this morning was towed into the port of Los Angeles a few hours ago. I was going to kill you, then I said I love you.
9 out of 10 people preferred friggin' chicken over the competition. Why?
'Cause that's some good f***ing chicken. I mean, friggin' chicken.
Friggin' chicken, you'll swear it's the best you've ever had.
The original story was also set to focus on a fledgling turned thin blood, turned during a rogue vampire attack.
I want my Lily back. She told me all about what happened. I don't know why you helped us, but your blood's worth bottling.
Third-person elements that were featured in the first game were dropped, instead opting for first-person action-type gameplay as inspired by Dishonored.
The city flowered in fire, and in fire she will end.
Don't listen.
After numerous delays in 2020, Matsoda and Kai Clooney were removed from Heartsuit Labs without any further explanation after more than 5 years of development. Chris Avellone, you guys should all know Chris Avellone. He's a legendary writer that's been involved in numerous role-playing games over the years. He was also involved in writing the first version of Bloodlines 2, but at the time there were allegations against him that were later proven false, and because of these allegations, Paradox decided to remove any of his involvement that he had contributed to the story at that point. And then by 2021, Paradox completely decided to change development over to a completely new studio, which they decided on the Chinese Room, which they kept secret until around 2023 when it was actually revealed who the developer was. And this was apparently an attempt to save the project altogether and avoid cancelling everything as it was standing at that point. So the Chinese Room completely changed the vision from the original game, but they did keep the setting and some of the art and level design that the original developers had put in place. But the gameplay mechanics, story, and RPG elements were completely changed. And even still with the change of developer, there has still been numerous delays since 2024. And those were apparently an attempt to add more endings and respond to community feedback, in attempt to improve the game and help the game meet players' expectations a bit better. As for the story, it was completely rewritten from the focus of a thin blood protagonist to that of an older vampire who's now fully voiced, which was quite different from the original Bloodlines, where it was a silent, dialogue-only kind of interaction as the main protagonist. The main character, who is now known as Fire,
This is something. Fire, can you... Oh, guess I found my body.
As for the music, which truly stood out in the first game, the original composer was brought in from the first Bloodlines, Rick Schaffer, but that was under Heartsuit Labs. And unfortunately, when Heartsuit Labs was removed from the project, he was also removed. But apparently some of his compositions were kept and integrated into the score of Bloodlines 2. So now that we're finally reaching the finish line, After all these years of development with Bloodlines 2, I'm still in two minds because my main concern is not whether or not it will be a good game. I'm sure it will probably be a good game. My main concern is whether it will be a Bloodlines game, because at this point in time, and based on the videos and trailers I've seen, I do feel like the soul and the original feeling from the first game might have been lost along the way, particularly with the loss of people that were actually involved with the original Bloodlines game and having all their work redone and removed and all that sort of thing. And also whether it will be an RPG game first and foremost, and instead of an action-adventure game with the RPG elements, you know, my most hated thing, RPG light games, where they add these RPG features to action-adventure games. But we'll just have to wait and see what the end result is like when the game actually finally gets released, how they incorporated the story and choices and everything to make an in-depth, complex RPG. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I honestly have very low expectations from that point of view. From what I've seen with the first-person action gameplay story, it does look like it will be a fun game. Like I said, my main concern is whether it will be a Bloodlines game, because honestly, the original game was an absolute masterpiece, and the last thing I would want is for this game to be a failure and for the franchise to die with this game, because I want people to be compelled to visit the first game and experience what I experienced with the game. I have been replaying that game every other year. I've replayed it so many times, the original Bloodlines game, at least 7 or 8 times. It is truly one of the most original role-playing games that have ever been released. Even though it was broken and buggy and had its problems and needed some unofficial patches and things to get it working well, it was still such a compelling original piece of work and one of the best games I've ever played. So for me as a fan, the expectations are already very high for a sequel. So at this point, I'm just trying to keep it under control and not have the bar set too high, because I was already disappointed when the first release and all that in 2019, 2020 was cancelled and all the pre-orders were refunded and everything, and all that hype was driven up, and then it just fizzled into nothing, and then there was speculation the game was going to be cancelled together, and then they changed developers and everything. You know, it's just been disappointment after disappointment, delay after delay. So at this point, I'm just grateful if they reach the finishing line and provide a good enough experience that it's a success, and someone else will be willing to make another game or, you know, branch further into the franchise as a whole, because World of Darkness is such an interesting tabletop setting, and it's something I wish more people would be exposed to. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds, and I look forward to October. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I hope you guys are also looking forward to this game. I know any other fans of the original Bloodlines game probably feel a similar way as I do. You know, this hesitant optimism. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And thank you guys for watching my video, and I'll see you guys again soon.
How's the case? Hot leads, cold bodies, reheated plots.
Oh my, I think I know what you are.
They say trouble comes in pairs, detective. Trouble comes in pairs.